YouTube, above average Cody here, starting off the week with a little discussion about whether or not Extraction is the mode that Halo Infinite Ranked needed, basically in Season 5 and beyond. Now, the reason I even want to do this video, guys, is because I have been seeing a lot of very strong and very negative remarks about Extraction, and although I will not say the mode is perfect, I will not say it's a great mode in its current state, I will say I think it has a lot of potential, and that's why I kind of want to discuss this so that you guys can go crazy and duke it out in the comments with me, whether you agree or disagree. Now, I'll open up by saying I have done some research. So if you guys saw in my community section on the channel, I did post a poll basically asking you guys if Extraction is a good mode or not. Now, the first option was, yes, it's perfect. This was a little bit of a troll and also a little bit of a trap because I did put this one first. So either A, people probably clicked on it because it was the first option, or B, people clicked on it as a troll, sarcastically like, yes, of course it's a perfect mode. It's exactly what we needed. But that got 10%. Then I put yes, but it needs some work, which this is where I put myself. I did not put my opinion in the post because I didn't want to like have anybody read my opinion, just vote for that one. But that one got 62% and then 28% no. It's awful, which I think is a little bit extreme. That's why I'm kind of in the middle ground of yes, but it needs some work. The first question that needs to be asked is, does Halo Infinite Ranked need a new mode? Yes, it does. But it does not need a new mode in terms of the current modes are bad or the current modes are stale. I think the current modes are very fine, to be honest. Some maps are a little lopsided with where the weapons spawn, how they play, vice versa, but they're pretty okay in their current state. I've always said, being a big Call of Duty player in my past life here, I've always said Halo needs some kind of sweaty competitive mode similar to Search and Destroy. And Extraction, in my opinion, and I said this in the tips and tricks video, guys, if you guys are looking for kind of a how to play Extraction, this is not that video. I'll link it in the description. I already did a video like that at the beginning of Season 5. But this is the first mode I have any semblance of Search and Destroy feeling. Now, obviously, it's not a single life mode. It's not as sweaty and competitive, beating people to the spot. But in terms of getting something planted first and planting it in a very strategic area, much like the bombs in Call of Duty Search and Destroy, I do kind of get that feeling with this, as opposed to just, hey, I have to stand in this area, or hey, I have to hold this objective, or hey, I just have to kill the enemy team. It very much encapsulates that little extra tier of strategy, which is why I say that this mode has a lot of potential to be that type of mode. That is what Halo needs. They kind of tried it with attrition. You die, you can be revived, blah, blah, so on and so forth. But that wasn't quite there. And this one, I kind of feel the same, but they're a little bit warmer with it. But I will say, in its current state, it is, it's far from good. I refuse to say it's bad. I refuse to say it's bad just because there is so much potential here, but it is not very good. I've seen pros like Lucid and Spartan complaining very strongly, saying that it should be taken out of ranked until it gets reworked and improved in some of these aspects that make it lopsided that I'm going to talk about in a second, which I can't say I disagree with. That seems like a pretty good idea unless they want to rework it sooner rather than later. But I will say, it is extremely lopsided. It feels like maybe 98% of the time, not that high, but a very high percentage of the time, the team that is able to pop that extraction device down first generally ends up winning that hill or that rotation. You can be very cheeky, you can be very campy, and if you just put it in an area where you can watch it from 50 feet away, you're in pretty good shape. And I'll be honest, it feels like a decade to what's the word? Convert that thing. It feels like a decade sometimes, and if your team is not waiting till 3 or 4 enemies are dead, body blocking for you when the time crunch is on, and frankly, the spawns are just terrible. It feels like they're trying to spawn them as close to the device as possible, which I get it. They're the ones defending it, but it sometimes feels impossible with teammates to convert that thing. And I'll be honest, you're always going to have 50-50 teammates. You're going to have good teammates. You're going to have bad teammates in the ranked arena. But some people on this mode, man, it feels impossible to win with, and it should not be that hard. in the ranked arena. It just does not feel like a 50-50 game at times. It feels very lopsided a lot depending on how the teams are playing. And then again, once that device goes down, which again, it goes down very quickly sometimes, if the enemy team's not close to you, you can plant that sucker, hide in the corner, and win it just about every time, it feels like. And that does not feel competitive, guys. It feels very casual, and it's very frustrating, again, when you get in that situation where it feels like you can't win. Now, it sounds like I'm being very negative on this mode, but again, I will say there is potential. You add an extra tier of strategy when you get to pick where you plant the device, what angles you want to watch the device from, how you want to attack the device. But there's a lot of things like the loud interaction with it when somebody's converting the device. It is very obvious where the device is planted. It feels like the people defending it are spawning up way too close to the device, and they are there in 2 seconds. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to tell you I have the recipe to make this mode perfect, but I will say if you played around with things like a longer respawn time, maybe you spawn further from the device, once it's planted, that is, a longer respawn time, like, I'll paint the picture here. You put the device down, now you have a 12-second respawn time, so it kind of favors the people trying to convert the device a little bit and just adds that bit of competitive aspect. But to kind of balance it, you make it not so obvious where the device is planted. Don't show people exactly where the device is, and don't make such a loud sound cue when they are converting the device. Because I'll be honest with you guys, it would add an even extra tier if you did not know when enemies were converting. This forces you to look at the device. Right now, you can literally walk away, turn your head, just sit there in a corner, and just wait until you hear that loud ding, and then you just run out, kill the person converting it, and you're good to go, and it resets completely. You can even keep the convert time. It's 5 seconds to convert it. Maybe if somebody gets 3 seconds and it keeps the progression, now it's only 2 seconds. So now the defenders have to be a little bit sweatier about how they're going to watch that device, guys. So you can see how, like, it is kind of, shout out Split Kicks joining on the old stream I'm using for background gameplay here. So you can see how kind of cheesy it is in its current state and how much extra you could do to make this mode that much sweatier, that much competitive, and frankly, that much more fair. Because again, guys, in its current state, it just does not feel like a great game mode. I refuse to say it is bad, but it is really tough to get with right now. It is really tough for some people to play and understand, it seems like right now, and I just think it needs a lot of work. Maybe to the point where it should be taken out of ranked, but I really don't want to see it go away for 3 months, 6 months, or even never come back. Again, for me, this is the closest they've been to a search and destroy type game mode. It's a long shot, but it gives me that feeling in certain aspects of this game mode, and I really, really like that. Now, tomorrow, November 7th, a big update coming. And they discussed some improvements being made, some changes being made in Uni's post that we went over last week on the channel. And I really do believe that could maybe include some changes to extraction, or perhaps them removing it, because again, I've seen a lot of pros and people like that being very strong about it being removed from ranked for now. So we'll see what happens in that update tomorrow. We will have a video come out discussing what happened and what changes they made, and overall just how the update looks. But I'm really optimistic about this game mode. Again, it's not great right now, but it has potential to possibly be a really interesting and kind of new game mode in the Halo Infinite ranked, and maybe even the HCS rotation. So those are all my thoughts on it, guys. Again, 62% were with me, 28% said no, it's awful, and 10% said it's perfect in its current stature, and that's why I want to make this video. Share all your thoughts below, guys. You know the drill. Subscribe to the channel. Stream this game 5 days a week. We're streaming the Modern Warfare 3 release at midnight this week. Ton of fun here, guys. Hit that sub button, leave a like on the video, and finally, channel memberships. Super thanks to Lake Sport monetarily. Helps me out, but please do not feel like you have to. But alrighty, guys, thank you so much for listening to this rant. Share all your thoughts. Feel free to duke it out about extraction as much as you like, but regardless, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.